Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to learn a bunch of different ways to clean stamps and your Misti or other stamp positioning device. I hope you'll stay tuned. Let's talk about the varieties of stamp cleaners and how well they work. The first thing I thought I would do is go into a little detail about the ones that I've purchased along the way. This one is from Close to My Heart. This is from Stampin' Up. This is from Ink Essentials. It's from Ranger, and this one is Hero Arts. Now the Hero Arts is a very, very strong stamp cleaner. It will break down your stamps over time, and the only time I would use that is when you're using stays on and nothing else works. But I will show you that toward the end because it's kind of, it smells, it's greasy. I don't love it. I got some of my Carolyn Shores Wright stamps that I've inked with black inks along the way, and I thought what I would do is show you the different cleaning mediums, because I know on all of them I would have used a black ink. I'm going to put that one over that way more. I would have used a black ink that was probably archival, which means it's a permanent ink. If you use a regular dye-based ink, you should be able to wet these and wipe it right off. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try that, because why not, right? And I'm just going to take some water, and if you know anything about me, you know that I always keep baby bibs attached to my chair. They're old and they're stained, but anytime I make a mess, I can grab one really quickly off my chair. So I'm just going to put water on this. This is just plain water in a distress sprayer. And I have a similar sprayer to this that I got at the Dollar Tree. Okay, this is the one I bought at the Dollar Tree, and I actually kind of like it better because when I spray it, I get better spray, I think, anyway. So now my baby bib is completely wet where I want it to be, and I'm just going to try on all 4 of these, and we're going to see how much of this ink we can get off. That's how much I got off on that one. I'm going to turn it over. I know a couple of these I was really upset because I didn't want there to be any residual ink on it, and I got ink everywhere, but nothing came off of that one. Nothing, or very little. This is the one I was really upset. The very first time I used it, I used a new Stampin' Up! Black permanent ink, and it stained it so bad and I couldn't get it off no matter what I tried. Okay, so now you know that with water nothing comes off. So I'm going to spray this one with the Close to My Heart stamp spray. It smells really good, by the way. I think the Stampin' Up! Does too. Yeah, it does. Okay, that's that one. This one I'm going to put the Ranger on, and this is a dauber. Hopefully you can see this. And this one kind of smells medicinal. Oh, and my dauber kind of ruined it. I don't know if you saw that, but I have a little issue with that. These things happen to me. And then the very last one I'm going to use, I'm not using the Hero Arts because it's too strong. I'm going to use my own homemade cleanser, and this cleanser has a little bit of glycerin in it. I mean a little bit. I mean let's say a quarter of a teaspoon maybe, and then 1 part baby shampoo to 10 parts water. What that means is if you use a teaspoon of baby shampoo, then use 10 teaspoons of water. I've probably used less because I just put a little bit in the bottom and then I fill the rest up with water. But this is another Dollar Tree find or AliExpress. I bought mine on AliExpress. It doesn't evaporate when you put water in there, so it's nice. So I'm going to use a baby wipe on each one because I want you to be able to see which one of my cleansers does a better job. There's another thing you can do, and I'll show you that. The other thing you can do is you can buy a couple, well, pretty much every company sells these, but this is called a Rub It, Scrub It Stamp Cleansing Pad. I'm just going to cut a small enough piece on this that I can hold it and use it whenever I want. Okay, so here is the piece I cut. You can cut big bunches of these, or you can leave it in the container that it comes in and then just cut them as you need them. But I'm going to just cut mine as I need them, and this is the one I'm going to use after I'm done with this process. So I'm using a baby wipe, and I'm going to go in the same order that I started. I'll put all the links to the cleansers I used and all the information below so that you have it in case you're interested. I never get any money for any of the things I talk about or reference you to. I just want to make sure that if you want to find it that you can. Okay, so this took that much off. Not very much at all. I'm going to put that on top. We're going to go to the next one. Okay, so this one I'm going to be using a fresh baby wipe on. We got a little bit more off, but it still doesn't look very good. Put that aside, and we go to our 4 birds. Not getting very much off. I didn't think I would though, because that's an archival ink that I tried everything to get off to begin with. That's that one. And lastly is our little, I think it's a bluebird. Can't see upside down. Or else it's a robin. I think it's a bluebird. We'll see it in a second. And this was my homemade stamp cleaner. Okay, so I got about the same amount off with each one of the cleansers. Not much. So I'm going to show you how to get that kind of stuff off. You can use this cleanser. I don't recommend it. Here's what I recommend you doing. Get some alcohol. I'm using 91%, but you can use pretty much any alcohol. We'll see how much comes off with this. I don't think I have as much on there as I should. That's how much we got off with the alcohol. It was a lot more, but I'm going to do one last step, and that is I'm going to take my homemade cleanser and I'm going to put it on this rub it, scrub it, and we'll see if that makes a difference. All you do, if you've never used something like this, is you just rub it across your stamp. This should take off anything else that's going to come off. A lot of times, like this has been months that this has been on here, so a lot of times you just can't get it off. You're going to get the residuals off. Then the last thing I'm going to do on this, I'm going to spray a little water on it just to get all the excess alcohol and all the different cleaning mediums. I'm going to use my bib just to dry it a little bit. I want it a little bit damp for the next step. And the next step is I'm going to take, this is an embossing stamp, and all an embossing stamp is something that's a stamp that has a lot of glycerin in it, and I want to put this on here until we're sure it's nice and shiny, because glycerin will condition red rubber stamps, and so I just use this for conditioning my stamps, because after I put all these yucky cleansers on it, I want to make sure my stamp doesn't get crusty and crack. These red rubber stamps can get brittle with age, so we want to make sure that it's nice and clean and that it's conditioned. So it's now as clean as it's going to be. We'll see if we can get anything more off of the next one, because we're going to try, no, I think I'm going to try this ultra clear just so you guys can see it. We've used the one cleanser. I'm going to put some water on that so that we don't have chemicals interacting with each other. Okay, I'm going to then use this, and this is really, really stinky and strong. If any stamp cleaner is going to get it off, this is going to be the one that gets it off. Now it's taking some off, but I don't think it's taking more off than the alcohol took off. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to rinse it again, and this time I'm going to use the alcohol on it, and we'll see if the alcohol takes off any more. It took off a little bit more. Like I said, these have been inked up and sitting for a really long time. Then we're going to use the glycerin and do a nice job of getting it reconditioned. You can feel, if you wonder if you've got any of the glycerin on, you can feel it. It's an oily kind of texture. And our next one, see how this one did. I guess I wanted to show you this so if you were wondering if one cleanser worked better than another, then you would know that basically they all kind of work the same, I think, including my homemade cleanser. Make sure it's nice and glycerin-y. I'm making that word up. Okay, there's that one, and finally my 4 birds. Let's see how that one did. Not too much. Try the Hero Arts on it. See if it takes anything off. It's taking a little bit more off. And then I'm going to try an alcohol pad this time. And we'll see if the alcohol pad takes any more off than the Hero Arts. My overall consensus is that if you're using any of these store-bought cleansers that aren't cheap, by the way, that they didn't work any better than my homemade cleanser did. And well, the one that works better is that Hero Arts. But again, these had stays on them, and they had archival links on them that just wouldn't come off at the time that I used them originally. I just want to make sure that's nice and conditioned. So that's our first step. We've cleaned those. Now let me show you another way that you can clean your stamps. You know that I just wipe mine off, especially your clear stamps. I usually just wipe mine off. I'm going to pull this one out so you can see how dirty it is. Hopefully you can see it's not really pretty. I usually just spray some of my cleanser on one of my bibs and wipe a stamp off. But you can spray directly on the stamp. Again, that's with my homemade stamp cleanser. And we'll see how this does with cleaning the stamp. And it looks like some is down in the grooves. So we're going to try another technique, and that is hand sanitizer. And I'm going to use it on this little part because you can see it. It's white, and you can see if it gets anything on it or not. So I'm going to just kind of wipe across it. Wow! Wait till you see this. Do you think it took something off? I think it did. These should get rid of everything else that you have. I got these from AliExpress, like I got my other micro brushes, but these will go in between the cracks, and I think that they're a great investment for that. Or finding them in those eyeshadows or any of the other products that you buy that you never use, look for those. Free is always best. Then I bought these at a garage sale a while ago, and these are, I think, baby Q-tips, and they work really well too, so I'll show you those. Just in case you were wondering if you had any other products at home that would work, these do a nice job of getting in there. I mean, obviously, the regular Q-tips work better because they're not as big at the tip as these ones are, but these were $1 for a box, so you can't beat that. But anyway, you can see I got some dirt off of it there. So that is how I clean those. Don't use your embossing pad, the glycerin, to do anything to your clear stamps because it doesn't work for them. To hydrate them or keep them nice, just use them on red rubber. Then let's talk about your Misti. Okay, so here's our Misti, and yes, it's got a little bit of ink on the inside, and all I do with mine is I take my same baby bibs and I put a little bit of my hand sanitizer on them. It's on my bib right there. And I just use it and go over it like this. And it takes all of the yucky dirt off, and it takes off sticky things if you rub it a little bit longer. And you don't need any really expensive cleansers for this. This hand sanitizer works just great. I don't know if you can see that. Let me put a piece of white paper in there so you can see the difference between what it was and what it is. See how nice and clean it is now? I don't know if you can see right in there, it's kind of yucky, so I'll just take it. You can't see it when the door is open, but right in there, there's a spot on both sides. Let's see if we can close it and see it again. Much better. So that's my Misti. Now it's clean. Okay, so Rich really wanted a new towel to wash his old car with. He has a 66 Mustang convertible, and we saw this absorber out at Walmart for $9, and it's really big. It's folded over, and I don't know how many of these you could make, but a lot. And it's very similar to the stamp chamois that I don't know what company makes. And so I thought I would give this a try for my stamp room. And what I'm going to do with it, I don't know how big the other company makes theirs, but I don't like really large tools because I can't get my hands around them really well. So I'm just going to cut this into a third. So I'm keeping the absorber, the name of the absorber, and this is a watercolor pencil, so it'll come off. And then this jar, when you put the lid on it, you can even put the clasp on it, and this is what I planned on doing, is taking it and putting the clasp like that, so you can see there's an opening I can stick my finger in, but it's not a huge opening. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some water in there. So what I thought I would do in this little jar is I would keep my rub it, scrub it. I can keep it off to the side, or I could keep it down in there. I can turn it sideways because I cut it small. I can do whatever I want with that, and then I'm going to put the absorber in there. I think this will be nice because I'll be able to, I'm going to cut this down a little bit more so it fits inside. I think it'll be nice because I'll have my whole cleaning kit right there, so I won't have the problem I've had in the past where I can't get a stamp clean. I'll be able to clean it really easily, and my Misti, because I'll have my tools right here on my desk, like that, and I can just keep it on my desk and I'll be able to clean stamps. Let's see if this would clean, and then I'm going to grab another stamp and we're going to clean it. The reason that people like this is because it doesn't leave behind any fuzz, and it makes it so that you can clean your stamp and not get any residue off of it. So I'm going to try using this with no stamp cleanser on it, and then I'm going to try using it with a little stamp cleanser on it, or I think what I'll just do is use this because I think it works the best on these kind of stamps. In case you wondered, that's my opinion. I believe this is the best cleanser for clear stamps. If you can see what I'm doing here, it's like those made on TV, or the as seen on TV things where they show you something and it's really filthy and then they clean it and you're like, wow, that's the greatest stuff ever, and then you get it home and it doesn't work for you. Well, this is not going to be that way for you because you probably already have this in your purse and you could just try it and not have any worries about it at all because it cleans like a champ. And I got this one clean because I like this stamp. This is inspired by Stamping It's a Sweet Pea. The one thing I've never liked about cleaning with baby wipes is it leaves behind debris, and I don't like that at all. I'm sure if I took my one of my little micro brushes, I could get in those little sections that I didn't get clean. Let's see if I can do that. So that is that stamp, and I hope that I gave you some ideas about easier and better ways to clean your products. that will make sure that you can get them clean the first time rather than be like me and not clean it well the first time and then later try and give it a little wipe off. So hope you'll give this a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell your friends about me on social media because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.